Hey guys, back with a legal tip. We're going to start our series on the new exclusive right to buy. We've had a lot of people asking questions about it. As I said earlier in my video last week, or maybe it was earlier this week, you don't have to use this particular form. You can use the MLS form. You can use the one that your broker has provided you, but you do have to use the form that your broker approved. So you can't go rogue and just decide which one you want to use. You have to use a form that your broker's approved. That is required by South Carolina law. I'm going to pull up this document, go over the first two paragraphs today. It's going to probably take 5 or 6 of these videos to go through this whole thing, but I do think it's important to go through the whole document and not just the provisions that have changed. Before I do that, I would ask you if you would please, if you are an Instagram person, please go to Instagram and follow Pickering Gary. That's my address there. I'm going to post all of these videos on Instagram, so if you miss one, you'll see them all there in the feed there, as well as I'm going to put some exclusive content on there that maybe aren't going to be legal tips. It'll just be 30-second or minute tips for you, and I'll put those on Instagram. So the first thing, there's a couple things I want to look at. First paragraph here is the appointment of the broker. So the first sentence is about the buyer of this contract enters into an agreement with the broker in charge. Please make sure that you do get right here the buyer's name correctly and use this as an opportunity to ask for their driver's license. It's not safe for you to be showing property by having people in your car or letting buyers in a house without having picture IDs from them. Use this as the opportunity to get that picture ID. When they sign it, say, look, I'm required to have your full name, legal name here, so I need your driver's license to fill that in. Pull out your cell phone, take a picture of their driver's license, and then put that in the file. I think that's important for your safety, so always do that. Part here I also want to talk about is the broker in charge. That's who the buyer appoints, the broker in charge. It's important you understand that this contract is between the buyer, the consumer, and your broker in charge. You are not part of the contract. You have been appointed by your broker or designated by your broker to work with this client, but the contract is with the broker. Please make sure that you get your company's name right here and don't just put initials there. I've seen that quite a bit. The last part of this paragraph I really like talks about the duties of what the buyer is going to do. The buyer agrees to conduct all negotiations of all types of property through the broker, refer all broker inquiries to the broker. Negotiations include anything negotiated or information requested, property shown. Use this as your opportunity to explain to the buyer you're entering into this exclusive agreement, and once you're in this agreement, they cannot go to other buyer brokers or agents to show them property or listing agreement or listing agents. They have to use you, and explain that to them. You need to package that up in a nice little speech for them so that they understand that now they're in agreement with you. You're going to be the only one who does those things, and they don't need to go talk to other agents or listing agents and having those properties shown by them. That would be a violation of the contract, but it also starts creating conflicts amongst the parties, which is not good for them or good for either agent. So use this as your opportunity to explain that provision. That's the most important, because I'm getting lots of phone calls right now of people saying, well, they were showing my house and I was under a buyer agency agreement. The last thing I'll talk about today is the purpose of agency. You are required by South Carolina law to provide this information. You have to provide the type of property they're looking at, the general description of what they're looking at, the property price, the appropriate or approximate price range, general location, and other preferred terms. Don't skip this. Don't put TBD. Fill this in with the best information available. It's required by law that you provide that information in any agreement. All right. So that's the first two paragraphs. There's some really neat things they've added to this. We'll start getting into those as we go a little bit further. The next legal tip I'm going to do, I'll go over the broker's duties in here. Those have not changed, but I do think it's important to point those out to you so you can explain those to your client. So again, don't forget to go to Instagram and follow me there. And I appreciate it and look forward to doing this series with you. Have a good one.